So the next part of getting your WordPress up, this is part 3 of the short videos that show you how the most basic steps to get your first WordPress site up, is to install a couple of plugins. So what we want to do is go to Dashboard, and on the left hand side we want to choose Plugins. So on the Dashboard, left hand side, we want to choose Plugins. So if initially when you get here you're going to see 2 plugins that are already installed. You can just leave these plugins inactive for now. It's probably the easiest way to go, or you could click here to delete them. This plugin here, it does a good job of protecting your site from blog comment and spams and things like that. The one thing about it, there's an API key you have to set up, which can kind of be a bear initially. So generally, it's better just to ignore that one right off the bat. And then there's other plugins that you can actually download that'll actually help you with spam. The Hello Dolly plugin, this is probably it's just a very useless plugin, quite frankly. It just comes installed, and like they say, it's not even a plugin. So you can choose if you want to, delete that or whatnot. So if you do want to delete a plugin, you could actually highlight it and then choose delete. And Hello Dolly is a safe one to delete. So what we're going to do is go to add new. So we're going to go to plugins and choose add new. And the first plugin we want to look for, it's been around for quite a long time. It's called All-in-One SEO. So you want to type in All-in-One SEO and do a search. So here you're going to see several options. It's going to be the third option here. It's going to called All-in-One SEO Pack. So what you need to do is just click on install, not right click, just click on install. So you see where it says install now. We're just going to choose install now. So now it's going to unpack your plugin, install the plugin, and tell you that it's active. So what you want to do is choose activate plugin after it's been installed. And you'll see here a message that says All-in-One SEO Pack must be configured. Go to the admin page to enable the configuration of the plugin. So we're going to go to the admin page of the plugin, which is found right up here. Again, under settings, if you do decide, okay, how do I get back to the All-in-One SEO? And typically this message will stay up here until you actually edit it. You're going to go back to your homepage dashboard, the left hand side, choose settings, and then simply select All-in-One SEO Pack. All-in-One SEO Pack. So once you go to the All-in-One SEO Pack admin page, you want to scroll down and make sure plugin status enabled. By default, they have it disabled, so you want to choose enabled. Once you have it selected as enabled, you'll go down to where it says home title, and under home title you're going to type in the main keywords that you're trying to go after. So inside here we're going to put in a variety of additional keyword phrases, because we were very limited initially when you're setting up just your site title and information when you're putting in your site name. So here we can actually go and put in a little more keyword phrases to kind of help the search engine index and find our website. So this would be a spot where you want to do a little keyword research. So one little tool you can use to find the right keywords to go after. Again, this isn't an SEO course, but just a basic ground rules for you, is just go to the AdWords keyword tool. It's a free tool. I find it by going to Google, and we can come up with some rough keywords that people might be looking for. The website I'm working on setting up here, it's focused on licensed sports memorabilia. So we're going to choose licensed sports jerseys. That's what it's zeroed in on. And let's go here, type in ROHNOWE and then eyes. What I'm typing in here is to verify that I am a human. So you'll see here licensed sports apparel comes up, licensed sports jerseys. You could even go like different sports if you wanted to. So we could see, okay, there's, some people looking for licensed NFL jerseys, licensed NFL gear. You'll notice here, though, NFL jerseys, there's 450,000 people a month. So there's a lot of people looking, for some of these keyword phrases. So, licensed NFL jerseys, licensed NFL uniforms. You get the idea. It kind of gives you a rough idea. NFL being like National Football League. Lots of different options here as far as jerseys go. So you could incorporate any of these keywords that you want to. You could also incorporate maybe a competing website or a website that you're kind of modeling after. You could definitely go that direction as well. You could go NCAA basketball jerseys. Let's do MLB base jerseys. So lots of different directions you can take this. So you just want to put in some rough keywords that kind of, encompass what you're trying to rank for, and you want to actually just, do some digging and see what keywords would be best to choose here. So like here's one, college basketball jerseys, custom NCAA basketball jerseys, Reebok in NFL jerseys. So as you can see here, there's lots of different options here. So I'm just going to go back here and we're just going to, pick a few keywords in there. So let's go NFL licensed, NFL jerseys, college basketball, college basketball jersey, MLB jerseys, NBA jerseys, and more. Okay, so there's kind of your home title. You could go with soccer jerseys. You can kind of pick, what keywords you would go with there. And then here under home description, what you want to do here is try to incorporate your most important keywords in here. So what I'm going to do here is find your show your team spirit and pride with licensed NFL jerseys, college basketball jerseys, MLB jerseys, NBA jerseys, and much more. Okay, so you notice how I incorporated my keywords again, but in a sentence format. Because what's going to happen here, the reason home description is good and the reason you want to use a plugin like All-in-One SEO is that if I were to do a search for licensed, let's just do licensed NFL jersey, the first part here that I would see here under, like for example, fans.com, right in here, this is actually most of the time taken from the meta description. So inside the meta description that you actually put in here under home description, this is what the search engines will pull from. That's why it's kind of important to make sure that you're incorporating the right keywords. So that helps with Google rankings. It also helps people identify with the listings. And right up here, these are taken from the title tags as well. So it kind of gives you an idea, of what to go for there. So home keywords. Let's just go with let's see, basketball, or you can just go with your main keywords again. And these, quite frankly, the home keywords, the meta keywords, are not as important as they used to be back in the day. But you may as well use them while you're back there because there are very few small search engines that you could probably incorporate those with. All right, the next thing, as far as Canon, Nicole URLs, just keep that as is. Rewrite titles. Post title format, this is interesting. It's completely up to you. I would recommend that you just go with the post title only. So what I always do under post title is I remove the blog title. That way you don't have this this title tag overshadowing your post in your each page description. So to get the best search engine benefit, I typically would just remove where it says blog title. And this is when you're installing the all-in-one SEO plugin. And I would do that for post, page, and category. All the others I will keep as default. And then what we want to do is just kind of keep this stuff as it is. Google Plus profile. This would be if you decide to set up a Google Plus page, which that's an entirely different thing that would go in here. Google Analytics, that's something for in the future, but you could actually easily install Google Analytics here so you can kind of track your website visitors. And then what you want to do here is scroll on down and just click on Update Options. So at this point, all-in-one SEO should be updated. You shouldn't see a message up here, that says you need to do more. And so there's just two other little plugins that we're going to go ahead and look at installing. So we're just going to go back here to plugins, and you'll see back here, there's all-in-one SEO active and working. We want to select Add New, and this plugin that we want to look for is called Dig. So we're going to look for the Dig plugin. What this plugin does, this basically will give you like social media type buttons on your actual website. It'll give you like Twitter, Buffer, those kind of things. You can also do a search for like social media buttons as well. So you can kind of choose if one of these is a better option. You could add Google Plus button if you wanted to. So those are some different ideas. I typically will just stick with the Dig plugin. But there are other searches you could do to find one that fits your needs better. But this plugin out of the box does pretty much everything you need it to do. So we're just going to choose Install Now and go ahead and select Activate Plugin. And you'll notice here on the left hand side, it's going to add a little category that says Dig on it. So you want to scroll down here, click on that, and this will help configure the plugin. You can choose some different things. You can include send button if you want. You could ignore it. Typically, I keep it as the default there. Twitter configuration. So whenever people click on the tweet link, you could tweet it out with your website link. So you could say at uniforms jerseys, if that's your Twitter handle, and just click on Save Changes. Twitter username. And that way when people tweet, it kind of helps you build viral, kind of viral traffic. So let's scroll on down here. You can keep everything else as it is. And you'll see normal display, floating display, manual placement. We're just going to go with normal display. And we can just go with, enable normal display. Buttons are displayed in horizontal or vertical order, so you can choose if you want them to go side to side or up and down. We'll just stick with horizontal. Buttons will be displayed in the post, and you could also make it display in pages. Display and post under categories, you can definitely include that. And then click on Save Changes. And the next thing that we want to do is you can kind of choose which ones you want to incorporate. You can go with Twitter, Reddit. There's a lot of different options here. Typically, you just want to work with Twitter. Reddit's not a bad one. So Twitter, let's go before content. Let's do Reddit after the content. Buffer, we'll go with none. Stumble upon, we can go with before the content. Facebook Lite, we'll go with before content. Dig, you can incorporate that one like after. Google Plus, I always like to put that before the content. LinkedIn, we'll go with before the content. And then you could choose to add some of these others as well. But those are going to be the big ones. And that way, when you actually make like a blog post, you'll get the actual social media buttons that will show up. So as you can see, you can kind of tweak it. So I always like to go back and forth when I'm working with Dig. Obviously this one doesn't look completely accurate because this is popping up here. These are showing up here. So we can go back and we can tweak these as well. So we can go with compact design for all of these. That way they don't show up so big. But that's how I would go about incorporating that. You can also add Pinterest. I would definitely recommend adding Pinterest in there. That's going to be a big one for you. And then we're just going to choose Save Changes. And this isn't the best example of it just because we got a very short piece of content here. But as you can see, by just tweaking this a little bit, we've made these buttons a lot smaller so it's not as gaudy looking. And again, you can just go back, make sure you tweak some of these. So like as far as the Facebook goes, where it's after the content, we'll go with compact. We'll make the Google Plus compact, make LinkedIn compact, and then save changes. So you can kind of play around with it. But this plugin is very important for search engines just because Google's going in the direction of social content, being such a valuable thing where they want people to be able to tweet things. They want people to do Twitter. They want people to do StumbleUpon, Facebook, Google Plus. These kind of things play an important role. So the Dig-In plugin is going to be good for you. And then there's one other plugin that we're going to set up in another video, and then we'll be on our way to getting this first website set up and going.